Hey everyone, Ike Ajuan here with another video. This is video 5 of my 7-day challenge. So today I actually wanted to talk about how I got to where I am right now. So for the last 7 years, I was living in Buffalo, New York, and stayed to work at an awesome company called Back USA. Recently, I moved to Manchester, England to pursue my master's, so I wanted to make a video about the steps I took to go from working a full-time job in America to actually studying abroad in the UK. A lot of these are going to seem like common sense. A lot of them are going to be like, oh, well, duh. But hearing these things, I think, a great way, or maybe could be the push you need to take the step if you're interested. So let's get going. Number one, super obvious, just take a lot of time and think about if you actually want to move abroad for school. So what I did early on was I talked to my sister Dee Dee. She was a great supporter of this, and we talked it over. We looked at the pros, we looked at the cons, and realized together with her help and help with some of my other close friends that this would be a really great opportunity, and it's something I could do at this point in time. Something to remember is you can't always do these sorts of things, so you have to do what's best for you at that time. Number 2, do your research. This obviously is a no-brainer, but studying abroad is not necessarily very cheap, so making sure that you find the right program to go into is super important. The last thing you want is to get overseas or go to another country and to start your program and realize that it's all wrong for you. So I use a website called Masters Portal. It's really helpful for doing advanced searches to figure out exactly what you want to study. So for me, I knew I wanted to do something in advertising, something creative, and obviously something in the realm of marketing. And using its filters, I could look through different countries, I could look through different programs, 1 year, 2 year, all those parameters, which really helped me narrow down my list of the schools that I wanted to apply for, which was about 10 at the time. Number 3, most international programs that I looked at least, were all taught in English, which is great. Something to consider is the location of the school that you want to go to. So obviously I'm in England, they speak English, which makes joining the community and talking to people and meeting people outside of university is relatively easy. But if I had gone to somewhere like, I don't know, Germany or Italy, it might have been a little bit harder to fit into the culture because I frankly don't speak those languages at all. So something to consider. I applied to a bunch of schools in Italy and Germany and France, and honestly, I'm really glad I'm in England because talking to people is very easy and the barrier to entry is a little bit smaller than it would have been in some other country. Number 4, another no-brainer, start early. I started applying to places in the beginning of January of this year, doing a lot of research, messaging people on LinkedIn that went to these universities, figuring out as much as I could as early as I could so I knew I would have enough runway to really make a good decision going down the line. Another tip is a lot of universities ask for a referral letter, which is pretty standard. One thing that took me by surprise is that it had to be from a past professor from my undergrad. So making sure to stay in contact with those teachers that you really liked back when you did your undergrad or if you just graduated is really important because most universities that I at least applied to ask for something from one of them and not necessarily from a former employer or something along those lines. Number 5, another no-brainer, save money. You're gonna need a lot of money. Going to school costs obviously a decent amount. I was lucky enough the university that I went to has U.S. financial aid, so that will be taken care of later, of course. But having money to pay your rent, to go shopping, to go out with new people you meet is all very important, and you might not be able to get a job right away. Luckily for me, I'm able to work 20 hours a week throughout my course, 40 hours during break, so if I needed a job, I could. But some people, they just can't do both, so make sure to save as much as you can leading up to your journey. And number 6, one thing to make sure of is to tie up all your loose ends from wherever you're leaving from. For me, that meant making sure that my lease was up for my apartment. I had to sell or get rid of my car. I obviously had to let people I work with know with enough time to prepare for my departure. Things like this, telling your bank that you're moving abroad, all those little things are super important to make sure you take care of, just so that you don't have to be scrambling your last month to make sure that all these little details are taken care of. All right, that's some quick tips on what you need to do to move abroad. I'm sure I'm forgetting lots of things. Maybe I'll make another video on this topic after being here for a little bit longer. I've been here for about 2 months now, and honestly, it's been such an amazing experience. I would recommend it to anyone that possibly can do this. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like. If you like this kind of content and want to see more of it, make sure to subscribe. And that's it for now. Remember to stay positive, and we'll see you in the next video. Well, you'll see me in the next video. I can't see you, but you understand what I'm saying. Okay, see ya.